Bonjour, c'est Sarah de l'agence Casa Éducation. Donc aujourd'hui, c'est un live spécial University of East London. Donc je vais inviter Jonathan à se joindre à ce live. Donc en attendant que Jonathan rejoigne le live. Hi Jonathan.
Hey, hello, Sarah. How are you?
I'm fine and you?
I'm good today, thank you. Very
So
good.
welcome to this live session, special for Moroccan students. So introduce yourself first and tell us more about the university you work for.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that last question? It
So
froze
I
a
was
little.
saying, can you introduce yourself and tell us
Sure.
more about the university you work for?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Jonathan. I'm the International Officer for students from the Middle East and North Africa here at the University of East London. So we are located in London. We have three campuses that are about half an hour away from Oxford Street, if anyone wants to use that as a frame of reference. So we cover pretty much every kind of major that students look for, apart from things like medicine, dentistry, and languages. So we cover things from architecture, interior design, and psychology, all the way through to things like business, computer science, fashion, and all those types of subjects. And we have foundation, bachelor's, and master's programs available. So we're quite lucky that we can offer lots of different options to Moroccan students.
Mm-hmm. And is it a public or private university?
It's a public university, so I know that I get asked this question a lot by Moroccan
Yeah.
students. So here in the UK, most universities are public universities, so it's a little bit different than how things are in Morocco.
So public universities, but students have to pay for the tuition
Yes,
fees.
yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately, yeah.
And what are the most popular programs offered by the university?
Well, we have a lot of students that do computer science and those types of majors because we also offer things like artificial intelligence and data science and cybersecurity. But we also have a lot of students that do things like architecture and interior design, um, com, business management, both at bachelor's and master's level, is also very popular, and biomedical science as well. So I get asked a lot about whether we offer medicine, but
Medicine, yes.
when I explain we offer the lab-based medical programs, they are also growing in popularity, especially with Moroccan students.
What about pharmacy? Is it available?
Well, we have pharmacology and pharmaceutical science, but not pharmacy as a specific major.
Okay.
Mm.
And do you accept Moroccan students directly to year one of the
Uh,
university?
yeah, so if a Moroccan student scores 14 or more on the Moroccan Baccalaureate, we can offer them admission onto the first year of a 3-year bachelor's program. If they score between 10 and 14, we would offer them an entry point on foundation. And if they're applying for a subject that asks for a specific subject requirement, so for example, um, physics for engineering or biology for biomedical science, we would ask for a 14 or above in that specific subject as well. But as long as they score above 14 overall, we can offer them direct admission to the bachelor's program.
Okay. And how many years are the bachelor programs in the UK?
3 years in total, and 4 years with the foundation. But the main difference really between the bachelor's programs here in the UK and maybe the ones that are offered in the US or other countries, for example, is they're very, very specific to the major that you're studying. So you don't have to do certain classes just to make up credits like you might have to do in European or US universities. Everything you study, all the classes that you take, will be directly related to the major that you're studying.
Okay. So let's speak first about the undergraduate programs. So
Hmm.
you said students that have 14 plus in their Moroccan baccalaureate can join the university directly for a 3 years bachelor,
Hmm.
right? So
That's
how
correct.
can they apply?
Well, we're very grateful to be able to work with yourself. So any Moroccan students listening now, you can contact Sarah at Casa Education, who can help you apply to the university. I know that there's if you're studying at an international school, for example, a lot of counsellors try and encourage you to use things like UCAS and things like that. But the thing with UCAS is the deadlines to make decisions and things like that are often quite early in May and June. Whereas universities' actual deadlines for admission are usually at the end of August and start of September. So it's always better to apply through one of our partners like yourself, who can give them the full information and full support through the whole process.
So basically, students can who will be taking the Moroccan baccalaureate or even French baccalaureate or American system this year, they don't have to wait until June or July, like until they get their final year results to apply. They can apply from now on.
Yeah, so even for September next year, the applications are now open. So what they would do is when they fill out the information on the application form about the curriculum that they're studying, the university's admissions team will make them an offer based on the entry requirements for that curriculum. So it's always good to apply as soon as possible, just so they know that what we can offer them as a university.
So which documents do they need to apply now?
The very, very minimum they would need is a passport, a copy of their passport and a personal statement for the program that they're applying to. They don't actually have to send any academic documents at this point. As long as they let us know in the application what it is that they're studying, the admissions team will make them an offer based on those academic criteria for the course.
What about the IELTS? Do they need to have the IELTS result before applying?
No, so that would also be a condition on the offer letter. So students have obviously up until the end of the summer to meet any English language requirements. So we accept things like IELTS, TOEFL, and PTE as well. But you don't have to have those. You don't have to take those before you apply. You can apply before you sit those exams.
So to some of they will be getting a conditional offer, and within the next months they can clear their conditions by providing the English language result and also their final year results.
Absolutely, yeah. So what we usually find is if a student applies now, for example, and gets a conditional offer for next September, they obviously have until the summer to finish their exams and get their results and everything like that. But sometimes students take their IELTS at the start of the year to kind of get it out the way, or they wait until they get their exam results. So the good thing is they have, another 9 to 10 months to meet all these conditions. So it's always good to apply early, just so you have time to prepare.
Yeah. And do they have to pay any deposit right now for September 2021 intake?
No, the deadline to kind of make a deposit payment to confirm your place at the university would usually be at the start of September. So there's no real pressure from students to pay a deposit early. However, having said that, some of our popular courses do have a limit on how many students they can admit onto the program. So if it gets to kind of March or April or into May, and the student definitely knows they want to come to East London, but they're still waiting for their IELTS or for their academic results, they can still pay a deposit to secure their place, and then they can just send us the other documents as and when they have them.
Okay, so we also have students interested by some postgraduate programs. So what are the most popular programs you offer?
MBA is probably the most popular one with students.
But do they need work experience for the MBA?
We would recommend that students have a minimum of 2 years, but if they don't and they're coming straight from a bachelor's program, we do take those kind of applications on a case-by-case basis. But with an MBA in particular, we have different streams that are available. So we have a standard MBA, but then we also have an MBA with supply chain management, digital marketing, business analytics, and project management as well. So the supply chain and the project management ones were very popular this September, and it looks like they're going to be popular again next year as well. But then we also have Master of Science programs in different types of engineering and computer and data science as well. So even though in the UK students can get the 2-year post-study work visa from next summer,
yes,
we also have a 2-year masters, which include a 30-week industrial work placement as well.
And do you have students find the placement?
Yeah, absolutely. So how it's structured is they would do all of their taught modules, their actual classes. Then they would have the 30-week work placement, and then after that placement, they would do their final research dissertation or project, and then they would finish with a 2-year masters with the master's qualification. Sorry, but we
Okay,
have
just
careers. Yeah, go
one
ahead.
detail, like what's the duration of a master, an MSc or an MBA?
Without the 2-year option, it's always 12 months. So you would study 2 semesters of taught modules, and then you would have a research project or a dissertation to finish off with.
Okay, because here, like we have many parents, especially, that do
Mm-hmm.
not understand the fact that in the UK, master programs are 12 months programs,
Okay.
because in Morocco we have like 2 years. So they
Okay.
think it's just one, it's not a proper master.
Oh, okay. No, I can assure anyone that is unsure of that. It's a 100% an official, fully completed master's program in just 12 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's recognized worldwide, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So because it's an awarded by a UK university, it will be recognised worldwide. But a lot of our master's programs also have accreditations as well, which also add value to the programs.
Okay. And can students work while studying?
Yeah, so international students on a Tier 4 student visa in the UK, they can work up to 20 hours per week during the semester. Over the summer break, if they decide to stay in the UK or stay in London, they can actually work full time during this period. So some students do tend to do that, but they can work. We have a lot of our international students that work part time alongside their studies, up to 20 hours.
And which type of jobs can they do?
Well, the very big benefit of being in London is the head offices and the large corporations and lots of things are always going on here. So maybe if a student was to go to a smaller town in a different part of the UK, they might not have so many job opportunities available to them. But obviously, people think that if a student works uh, whilst they're studying and they're just going to work in like a Starbucks serving coffee or something like that. But obviously being based in London, there's internships, there's lots of startup companies, there's head offices that are always looking for kind of graduates to work part-time for work experience. So obviously the university is fantastic in terms of providing education, but it's also the location and where we're based. It's very helpful to help students with the outside opportunities for work.
But how can a student like find those jobs? Do they need to go to the university and ask for them? Do you have any specific department that takes care of those things?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very large careers department at the university, and the university was actually recognised as being 19th in the UK out of all of the universities for how much money we've invested in career services for our students. So we have a smaller part of the careers department that helps students find part-time work within the university. So it could be with the international office alongside me and my colleagues, or the marketing department. But we also have a larger part of the careers team that helps students find internships related to their studies. So that's the benefit of using a university's careers department. So instead of just looking for part-time jobs that are like working in a supermarket or things like that, the careers department at the university helps you find specific jobs related to the major that you're studying. So
Okay.
one example I can give that I know happened a couple of weeks ago was one of our law students was looking for part-time work, and she's now kind of like an office assistant within a law firm here in London. So it might not be like a large job, but doing that alongside her studies means that she can put what she's learning into practice and obviously make a good impression on the company for when she graduates. So
And most of the
yeah.
time it's they are paid jobs, right?
Oh yeah, most of the time they're paid. Sometimes as part of some of our programs like business management or biomedical science, and some of the other subjects like physiotherapy, there are a lot of internships as part of the program. They are not always paid because they're specifically related to the course, but most jobs that you would do outside of the university, they would always be paid. And the minimum wage in London, I think, is like £10 or £11. So I mean, when I was a student, it was like £6 something. So it's quite good now for students.
Yeah. So many students, when they come to the agency, they try to avoid going to London because they
Okay,
think it's expensive.
okay,
So
I can
what can you
understand
tell
that.
them?
Well, even though I'm from the UK, I'm not actually from London myself. So I came here, wow, a long time ago, 2007, to do my bachelor's degree. And I first thought I'm going to be broke all the time. It's going to be expensive. How am I going to live and enjoy myself? But It's actually quite comfortable to live as a student in London. So you get discounts on pretty much everything from shops, restaurants, cinemas, things like this. And you also get a third off your travel costs as a student as well. So traveling around London on the metro system, or the tube as they call it here, or traveling around the country on the train, you can actually save quite a significant amount of money as a student. And also, if we are one of the few London-based universities that offers on-campus accommodation on our main Docklands campus, so students that live there also save money on like other expenses like electricity, internet, and things like that. So these are all like the kind of expenses you don't really notice, if you like, until you're in your final year or if you've just graduated. But as a student, it's actually quite comfortable to live and study in London.
But how much? What's the average amount that you need to pay for their accommodation?
So for the accommodation we offer several different room types, and it varies between 5,700 to around 6,300, depending on the room. And
That's for the whole academic year.
That's for the academic year. Yeah, so from September until the middle of June. But that again covers lots of different things. So we sometimes have
internet, electricity, gas, like everything is included.
Everything, even maintenance. Let's say, for example, something doesn't work or you need something fixed. You don't have to pay extra to replace anything. It's all covered with the room fees.
And it's furnished, or do they need to bring their bed and their table?
No, we actually have really good accommodation, to be honest. So they have a desk space, their own bed, they have their own ensuite bathroom. So even if they're sharing a dormitory with 4 or 5 other students, they won't be sharing a bedroom or a bathroom with anyone, which is always a surprise to to some people. But you will always have your private bedroom and bathroom, and then share like a kitchen area with 4 or 5 other students. Or if you're living in a studio, you'd have your own small private kitchen area as well.
Okay, and are they close to the campuses?
Yeah, so we have about 1,200 rooms available for students, and they're all on our Docklands campus. So if students are studying engineering, computing, architecture, some of our sports programs as well, and arts and creative subjects, they are all on the Docklands campus, so they can walk to their class within five minutes. And then if a student is studying at one of our other campuses in Stratford, we have 2 campuses in Stratford, which is about 20 minutes away. There is a UEL shuttle bus that takes students between the campuses all throughout the day. So if they're living on the Docklands campus, I think the first bus is about 8:30. So if they get that in the morning, they'll be at their class by 9 o'clock. And that bus is free as well. So it saves them time having to get public transport, and they don't have to pay for it either.
Okay, but how much money do students need to have per month for their maintenance?
For their maintenance, okay. So they have to have 11,385 in total if they're living in London. So it's a little bit more than what they would need if they're studying outside of London. So per month, I think that's 1,185 if my maths is correct. So that's how much they.
But this is for the visa purpose. But in reality, and yeah, I know that it's a different thing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I'm working full time, and I don't think I spend that much on expenses and things like that. So, sometimes students, have around 300 or 400 pounds money kept aside for them to do like social activities and things like that. And like I said, because they can get discounts on most things, they don't even spend that much. If they're living in a dormitory, sometimes they share the shopping or do a group shop with their flatmates as well, which also brings the cost down. And yeah, I would probably say as a student, if you take out rent, you would probably need around £600 for living expenses and food and travel per month. So it's not actually as much as the Home Office estimate all the time.
Yes. And which activities can students do nowadays with this COVID-19 situation?
Well, yeah, it's an
apart from watching Netflix.
I don't think there's anything left for me to watch now. I think I've watched everything on that. But yeah, so at the moment, the currency, we had a lockdown in March up until the summer, which was a complete lockdown. Everywhere was shut. But at the moment, we are technically in a lockdown. So gyms, shops and restaurants are shut, but students can still go out. Students can still go to a restaurant and have things to take away. A lot of the kind of social activities have switched to online now, so students can still meet and interact with people. On the campuses, all of the facilities are still open with social distancing measures in place, and everyone on campus is required to wear a mask when they're walking around. But let's say, for example, a student is studying engineering or biomedical science and they need to use their facilities on campus, they can book a time slot and then use the facilities as freely as they like. And it's the same for architecture and interior design students as well. They can book time in the workshops and still use that. So the university is still open and still operating.
Okay. And so you offer so the main intake is September intake, but
Yeah.
you also have another one in January.
Yeah, that's right. It's not
But
as
are all the programs available in January as well?
no, there are more available this January than usual because of the current pandemic, and we're just trying to help more students with their options. But usually it's a master's only intake. But for the last couple of years, we've been having bachelor's programs such as business management, computer science, law, accounting and finance as well. So all the popular ones for Moroccan students especially, they're all available in January. So if there are any students that do have a 14 or above on their baccalaureate, they can join the first year. But we also have foundation available for January as well. So there's lots of different entry points available.
And do you offer any master in construction management or building information modeling?
Yeah, we actually have an MSc in construction engineering management that's available in January. So if you have completed your masters and you're looking for, completed your bachelor's and you're looking for a master's option, we have that available starting in the next couple of months.
Okay, so you know that now the problem is, especially for a January intake, students were not able to take the IELTS exam. So are you accepting any other exam for January intake?
We were previously accepting Duolingo, but unfortunately we're not accepting that now. That was just like an interim qualification we were accepting for September. But as well as the IELTS, we can also accept TOEFL, and I know that TOEFL have an online option at the moment. We also accept PTE or Pearson English test if anyone's able to take that. But if a student has studied at an international school and they've completed SATs or APs or things like this, we can also accept those as well if they meet the required score in the English component. So a lot of students from international schools are not always aware of that option, but if they take the SAT and score 500 or more in English, we can accept that instead of IELTS.
Okay, and do we still have time to apply for January intake?
Yeah, there's still a few weeks left. So the deadline to apply for January will be the 11th of December. And the deadline to meet all of the conditions will be the 18th of December, just a week later. The reason why they're slightly earlier is obviously there's a 2-week Christmas or winter break here in the UK. So the universities will be closed during that time. So even though myself and a few of my colleagues might be contactable by email or WhatsApp and things like that, a lot of the other departments like admissions and things like that will be closed for 2 weeks, but we can still kind of help students with guidance as to the next step. So it's not too much of a problem.
Okay, and when is the deadline for the students to be on campus in January?
In January, the official start date of the semester is the 24th of January, I think, but the first week of teaching will be the 1st of February. So usually we have a 2-week period where we allow students to arrive physically in the UK. But of course, during this current pandemic, they can enroll online and start their classes that way. And then when they arrive in the UK, the last date we would expect at the moment is the 15th of February for them to physically be in the UK.
But they have to be on campus.
They'd have to be on campus then, yeah.
Okay. And do you offer any 100% online programs?
We have a few 100% online programs, mainly at master's level in things like English language teaching, and we have a very unique psychology master's program, which is applied positive psychology and coaching psychology. That is by far the most popular fully online program that we have. Even a lot of students ask me this question, even during COVID-19, they can do classes online until they can attend on campus. Because they're not validated as a fully online program, you still have to go through the process of getting the CAS letter for the visa and paying certain fees to get admission onto that. So you can start online, but we have a few courses that are fully online. available.
Okay, but for the students who are studying online, would they will get a degree from the University of East London as
Mhm.
any other student who has studied the same program on campus?
Yeah,
Or will
absolutely.
it be mentioned that they have studied online?
Uh, it might be mentioned on the transcript, but the actual certificate itself won't have distance learning or online. So let's say, for example, the example I gave just now, the Masters in Psychology that we offer online,
Mm-hmm.
their actual certificate or their master's degree will say MSc, Applied Positive Psychology and Coaching Psychology, and then maybe on the transcript it might say Method of Study, Distance Learning or something like that. But the actual certificate itself won't say that.
And will they also benefit from the post-study work visa if they
No,
study online?
no, not if they study online, unfortunately. So students have to be in the UK by, I think, the students can arrive. Any student can arrive latest in April. Anyone that arrives after that can qualify for the post-study work visa, and also anybody that is doing a bachelor's program right now or doing a master's program right now, and they actually graduate and complete their course after the summer next year, they will also be eligible for the post-study work visa.
Okay. So what can you tell Moroccan students?
Well, based on the conversations I've had with our current Moroccan students, and they've been growing in numbers quite significantly in the last few years, one of the main things that attracts students, especially for bachelor's programs, is the student support that we have in place. So even for myself, as a British student, making that transition to university is very, very different. But we have a lot of academic support services in place that will help you with your assignments. They will kind of read through your assignments before you submit them, just to give you some constructive feedback on how to improve. We have a very
They do it
safe,
for free or do they have to pay for this service?
no, completely free. It's a service that the university offers, so it's really unique because I know a lot of people when I was at university would have really myself included, would have benefited from that. We also have a lot of people obviously ask me about safety. Um, and what kind of freedom do they have? Can they go? Is there a curfew to being on campus? You can do whatever you like. The good thing is that because you have on-campus accommodation, and there's a train station or a metro station, if you like, right on our campus, it's very safe and very easy to explore the city. So if you're coming back at night, you don't have to walk through the streets anywhere, or you don't have to get a bus or anything like that. You can get off the train, walk straight onto campus, and you can only access the campus after 7 p.m. I think, if you have a staff or a student ID card. So it's very safe and secure, and you don't have to worry too much about things like that. Which is, I get asked
Okay.
that a lot by parents. So yeah.
Okay, so what's the average price of the tuition fees for undergraduate programs and
Uh,
postgraduate ones?
so unlike some other universities, all of our bachelor's programs are priced the same, whatever major it is. So for next September 2021, our bachelor's programs will be £13,300 for the full year, and we will have scholarships available of up to £3,000. So they're usually set by the faculty of which the course sits in the university, but they're usually maximum £3,000. So the scholarships that we offer are applied to the first year of the studies only, and so, for example, the first year fee could be £10,300, and then the remaining second and third year would be the normal price.
Okay. Do you have any programs, especially in business, where students can do a year abroad?
Some of our we have. I think our business management program, you can have they call it here a sandwich year, which is basically a work placement year in between the second and the third year. We have a very large study abroad program, and we have lots of partnerships with different universities. If things were normal, I would say there is the possibility of doing a year abroad, but hopefully when the pandemic situation starts to improve, that will be an option. But there are options where on quite a few courses where students can take the optional work placement year. I get asked actually, this is a very good question. I do get asked a lot. Do they have to apply for a longer visa when they first enroll? Well, what actually happens is they would get the visa for 3 years, and then when they get to the second year and they decide if they want to take a work placement, they just let the visa team know at the university, and the student visa will get extended a year whilst they're here. So they don't have to decide before they join, they can make that decision in their second year.
And will they have to provide again financial evidences, or how does it
No,
work?
because it's part of the actual program. They don't have to reapply for anything. It's just an extension of their current visa.
Okay, so they can do it from the UK.
They can do it from the UK, yeah.
Okay. Okay, and for the scholarships, are they like automatic ones, or do they have to apply for them?
No, so they are going to be automatic for most students for the new academic year. And like I said, they're going to be set by the different faculties within the university. So we have 6 schools, if you exclude the graduate school, we have 6 faculties within the university. So each one will set the maximum scholarship available. So for example, the business school might say any of our majors in business and law and accounting and finance, we were happy to give an automatic scholarship of £3,000. And usually engineering gives scholarships of around £2,000 for engineering and architecture. So it does vary by the school, but when a student gets an offer letter, the scholarship will be automatically added onto that, so they can see it straight away.
But after the student gets an offer with a scholarship, do they need to pay the deposit to secure their place, or it can be done in a later stage?
No, so the deposit, the scholarship won't have a deadline, but like I said, when we get to like a certain part of the year, it's usually around June or July, and we notice that, you know, the popular courses are reaching capacity. We might say, you know, if you don't pay by this certain date, we can't guarantee your place or your scholarship, but hopefully that won't happen. But obviously, because a lot of people have deferred their offers from this September just gone to next September, it would be advisable for students to pay their deposit as soon as they are able to or feel comfortable with, just to make sure that they can secure their place.
Okay, so I think you've answered all our questions.
Okay,
so thank you, Jonathan, for joining this live. It will be recorded, so for the ones who have missed it, they can watch it again on Instagram page.
Perfect.
So is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, I just to the students, if they're watching, I've worked at several different universities, and I can honestly say that the University of East London does put its students first, and we offer lots of things that are very unique to the universities that help make your student experience very enjoyable. And obviously coming to a new country is going to be nerve-wracking as well, but we make you feel welcome. It's a safe and secure campus. You're well supported academically, and it's just a really nice campus and university environment to be a part of. So yeah, come and apply to UEL, and Sarah will help you do that.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, take care. Here we have someone called Mehdi. He's a postgrad student, so he's inviting Moroccan fellows to study at University of East London. Thank you, Mehdi, for your...
Thank you so much. Perfect.
So next session, we will be inviting some students actually studying at the campus, so they can give their testimonials to our Moroccan community and students.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can tell you what I think, which is obviously true, but obviously when our Moroccan students share their own experiences, that, you know, is more insight into the university. So that will also be very unique for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so hope to see you in Morocco very soon.
As soon as we can travel again, I'll be there, believe me.
Definitely. Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for your time and for all this information. Okay, take care.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.